Are you trying to keep your home in the family? Well, let's talk about what that process looks like. I just came across an article on Reddit that's titled Selling Mortgage to a Friend or Family. And the article says, I purchased a home in 2022 with a 30-year fixed interest rate at 2.5%. Those were the days. Is it possible to sell this mortgage, which has a fixed interest rate, to a friend or a family member? How does this process work? This is such a great question. It's not one that you hear every day, but it's a great one, especially with those coveted low interest rates that many homeowners locked in during the pandemic. So let's clarify. A mortgage is not like a car or a piece of furniture that you can sell outright. It's a legally binding agreement between you and your lender. Some mortgages can be assumed, though, by another party, a friend or a family member in this case, meaning they can take over the loan at the original interest rate and loan terms. But there's a catch. Most conventional loans are not assumable. The types of assumable loans that I'm talking about are FHA, VA, and USDA. These are the ones that are more likely to be assumable. But even then, there are rules and lender approval requirements. So even if the loan is assumable, the lender will usually require the new borrower to qualify for that loan, just like when the original borrower applied. They'll look at their credit, their income, their debt to income ratio to make absolute certain that this new borrower, perhaps a family member or a friend, can that can afford to repay these loan terms. You can't just simply hand over the mortgage, if that makes sense. It involves paperwork, fees, and possibly even some adjustments to the loan terms. Mixing money and relationships, though, can get tricky. If something goes wrong, like the family member can't make the payments, it could potentially strain the relationship. In this case, this person is saying, they want to sell it to a friend and family member at a 2.5% rate. Well, these days, the rates are 6.5, 7%, and potentially going higher. So if someone is trying to get into home ownership, but they can't do that because of where the rates are today, they might qualify to assume the loan of someone who took out their loan back in 2020, 2021, when the rates are much lower. So that is kind of the appeal to an assumable mortgage. For example, if a seller is trying to sell their home at a certain price, buyers are looking at it at a really high rate. They might have less people who can afford to purchase the home from them. But if the loan that they currently have on that property is assumable, they could potentially find a buyer, many more buyers who can now afford to purchase their property from them at a significantly lower rate because that buyer is assuming the current mortgage and not going with a mortgage at the rates as they stand today. So, in conclusion, can you sell your mortgage to a friend or family member? In most cases, no, but there are a few workarounds if you're willing to navigate the complexities of the assumption process. Have you ever heard of someone transferring or sharing their mortgage? Have you ever heard of an assumable mortgage? Let me know what you think in the comments below.